Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to Phatkat Collections. We're going to do a couple videos about these products, but mainly today, this video is only, even though you can see my brand new pair of Acoustic Research LA44s, amazing, love them. Man, if you're in the market for speakers, check these out, give these a go. But today, we're going to be talking about Aiyima. And Aiyima is a Chinese company, and they're making small form factor home audio amplifiers. I can thank Aiyima for opening the floodgates to me really getting, I'm not going to say back into audio because I've always been into audio, but kind of getting back into audio. I've had speakers put away in storage that I just decided not to use over the years, and this brand has really reminded me of what good speakers sound like and what a good amp sounds like. So I'm not going to review every product by Aiyima. You'll have to check out my other videos. I did put up a playlist showing some of the other Aiyima products I've used. So most importantly, who's going to buy these amplifiers, right? We all seen the big, giant home theater amplifiers. We've all seen the 2-channel amplifiers. They're normally big. They're about the same size, right? And I think the biggest problem with those amplifiers is that prior to like this style of amplifier, there was really no options for people to have good quality audio without getting something large like that. And that's why I've never had a set of tower speakers or floor standing speakers in this room, because I just didn't want to have a huge amplifier here. If we think about the different companies out there, there's not a lot of companies who make things that look kind of clean and sexy. And that's what I think kind of separates the tube style amplifiers from the rest. They look like artistic pieces of equipment, right? When you look at them, yeah, it's an electronic, and these are more of the basic ones. There's other versions out there. I'm trying to work with Aiyima to come up with my idea for an amplifier that will do very well. But, they generally, a standard amplifier is just a big metal box, and you kind of want to have that look in the room where audio is the focal point. And for me, I really like to have audio in every room of my house, but hidden. This room has a 5.1 Dolby Digital home theater system. Granted, I do have a home theater receiver tucked away in the closet. There's a 55-inch TV on the wall, a VCO soundbar on top of that, all hidden wires, but there's a lot of audio in this room. Hidden subs under the bed. But when it comes to floor standing speakers, I've always wanted a pair in this room, but I just didn't want to have to crawl through the attic, wire in another 2-channel home theater receiver, and then pay the money for that. With Aiyima, they have solved that problem. So they have these super small form factor amplifiers. They are incredible, and they make a lot of different variations. Today, there are other recommendations if you want something to take up even less room. But today, I'm sharing with you what they sent me. And so this is their new Aiyima AO7 Max amplifiers. You don't have to have two, but I wanted to run maximum power to these Soren Vega speakers I just got. So they were nice to send me 2 of them, and then I said I'm going to need a preamp as well. They were nice just to send me their Aiyima T2. And what this is a preamp and 2 amplifiers. So each speaker gets its own amplifier. And these Aiyima AO7s have the ability to go mono or go stereo. I don't remember exactly the wattage offhand. I will put the link in the description where you can read about it. The wattage will change depending on what power supply you get. With these, they come with the 36-watt power supplies. If you're wanting more power, you'll have to go with the 48-volt. But the price of that, to me, starts to make it a little bit expensive, right? I think Aiyima should, in the future, get away from sending out the lower power supplies and just include, these are the max amps. They should include the max power supply. You'd have to charge $10 more or something like that. Because people, when they buy these, they're expecting to get the max power. And there's a lot of confusion with that. So remember, in order to get max power, and again, you'll see this when you click the link in the description, you're going to need the 48-volt power supply, which kicks the price of this setup, up a bit. So I would really recommend just using the 36-volt one that comes with it. If you run these in mono, it's not like car audio, which is surprising. You're going to get, I think, roughly out of these on a 4-ohm load, you're getting about on an 8-ohm load, you're getting about 98 watts. And most home audio speakers are 8-ohm, right? If you were to run these in a 4-ohm mode, if you were to buy a speaker by like Rockville, really affordable set of speakers, then you'll have to check. Everybody makes something different. If you were to get a 4-ohm speaker, you're going to kick it up to, I believe, 119 watts. If you can get it to 2 ohms, you're going to be even about 200. But I don't know of any home speakers that are 2 ohm. The only way you'd be able to get 2 ohms out of this amplifier would be to have 4 speakers, and you would basically wire up in parallel 2 sets of towers and 2 sets. Don't give me any ideas, right? Maybe Sir Vega will send me another pair. No, they didn't send me these. I actually bought these. Just because people are going to ask if you see this video. These were about $5.50 per pair. It'll range $5 to $5.50 a pair. Worth every penny. They're incredible sounding speakers. I think it hands down the best bang for buck out there right now. But getting back to the amps, I wanted to do something with a dual amp setup because this is kind of what Aiyima, this is kind of their marketing, I guess, plan. Is yes, you can run these in stereo, but why would you when you can get it? You can run it in mono and get more power. So each amp is ran in mono. I have 1 amp per speaker, and then the preamp. And all the preamp does is basically use tubes in the preamp to kind of generate that warmth sound you get out of a traditional like Macintosh tube amp. We can't compare them side by side. Audio is so subjective, but for my ear, they sound incredible. They sound. There's really no reason for me to spend thousands of dollars on anything else when these are super enjoyable. And the great thing about them too is that they don't take up a lot of room. When you come in this room, the speakers look like pieces of furniture. You know, with the Aiyimaz, they're a very small footprint, and you don't have all this audio equipment laying around, and they deliver plenty of power. So roughly, say about 100 watts per channel per speaker. Yes, that's not meant. I don't, you know, and that's not when you think of like, oh, it's going to bridge mono. A lot of folks are thinking that's it. But remember, these are very small, and if you compare this to most home theater amplifiers, whether it be a 5.1, 7.1, 9.2, whatever the case may be, generally home theater amplifiers are about 100 watts by, 5. If you get a stereo version, about 100 watts by 2. 100 is kind of the standard for most home audio because you just don't really need a lot. If it's totally different than a car. So just kind of keep that in mind. You don't really have to go overkill with the power. These definitely deliver the power. You really don't need any more. And again, what you'll do is you have a preamp, and you don't necessarily have to use a preamp. I did because I'm using 2 amps. If you use just one, if you're not concerned with the 2 preamp, and you just want to use a very simple single amp system, run it in stereo, CD player hooked up to it, great, right? But the nice thing about having the preamp is that this has Bluetooth capability, so you can stream right from your phone. It has the ability to run another device, like a CD player. In my case, I'm going to run a Google Chromecast audio. That's the way I like to stream audio. They're fantastic devices. And then basically you just split the RCAs, one into one into the other. If you do have if you do get this, the instructions are great about showing you how to wire it. But just so you know, it is labeled on the back that if you use this in mono mode, you flip the switch, you wire each speaker to the mono designated outputs, and it'll show you on the back which 2 positive, negative connectors become your mono output. And then, of course, you run an RCA out of your source, 1 RCA into I believe it's the left in on each amp. So you're still getting stereo, just each amp. 1 amp is handling left, 1 amp is handling the right channel. They sound incredible. I'm not going to play it for you because if I do, the video will become demonetized. And unfortunately, you can't really gauge how audio sounds through a YouTube video, through your cell phone, or through your home speaker. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. These are incredible speakers. No matter what speakers you go with, even if you have an old set of speakers laying around, kind of like I did. I had a old set of acoustic research towers that went into storage, and I had them on a $1,000 Kenwood amp back in the day. It wasn't until I got these hybrid tube amps. It doesn't matter who you go with. Aiyima and Dayton are kind of the 2 big ones out there. Because of the quality that they provide and the customer service, I feel like those are really the only 2 you should go with in the affordable hybrid tube amp realm. But these get great reviews by a lot of guys with more knowledge than I have. And the consensus is you get a lot of bang for your buck with Aiyima. And again, no matter what, maybe you don't want a big set of towers in your bedroom, right? Maybe you just want some bookshelf. Whatever speakers you go with, even if you have an old set of speakers laying around that you have enjoyed, if you get one of these hybrid tube amps, you'll be blown away how much better they sound. The best way I can describe it is that there's a warmth you get, and that's what they when people refer to tubes and the sound that tube amps make, it's referred to as warmth. And the best way to describe that is that when you listen to audio through a non-tube amp, and again, this is super broad, but my best way I can describe this is that it sounds sterile. When you listen to it through these hybrid tube amps, it just kind of like opens up. I feel like it's more realistic. I feel like the vocals are just more like you're watching the guy or girl singing it. There's just a warmth to it, a natural sound to it that I just am super impressed with. And it doesn't matter if you go with Dayton or if you go with Aiyima. Of course, this video is about Aiyima today, and I absolutely love their products. I am trying to get Aiyima to design or produce an amp that I designed. It's using their technology they already have with some changes as far as the looks. And I guess we'll see if that ever happens. You know, it's a big company, so I don't know if they'll ever do that. But I can almost guarantee you, if they do use my design, that they will sell out there, because it's what folks are looking for. It's what I'm looking for, and I know these are going to look awesome. But again, that's for a later video. We'll see what happens. But back to these. Comes with 2 tubes. Comes with an RCA left and right, 1 set. Power adapter. And of course, what else? That's about it. Again, both AO7s come with the 36 watt power supply. 36, yeah, I think it's 36. And of course, the amps. Only negative thing I have to say about these is that if you're using them like I'm using them, when you turn them on, because this is a rotary knob, you basically turn them on by turning the knob. And the downside to this is, let's say you want to set the volume at halfway, you're going to kind of have to eyeball where the volume is. So my recommendation to Aiyima when they come out with a new generation of these, and I'm sure they will, is to, 1, include the 48 volt power supply. That's going to provide the maximum power out of their amps. People are spending the money, they want max, give them the max, right? Go with the higher watt power supply. You'd have to charge a little bit more, and put in a rotary knob that actually has kind of like the clicks. Like this one, when you turn it, it clicks into each position, whereas this is just a smooth increase all the way up. So it's kind of hard to kind of line these up perfectly. And it wouldn't matter if you were only using one, but if you're using them in mono mode, you want to be able to kind of tune these in at the proper volume and then kind of set it and forget it. They also need to add a separate power button. Get rid of the on-off power button that's built into the volume knob. Just put a standard power button or power switch on that. That'd be much better, because then you can dial in exactly where you want the volume, get it set, and then when you turn this on, you won't have to mess with it. You'll just turn on each amp. So that's my only recommendation. But overall, they sound great. They look great. They barely take up any room. And this is a company that I believe makes other amplifiers for other brands. I don't know which brands have, are their products with a different name, but I love this company, and I'm really looking forward to reviewing more products. They've been fantastic to work with, and more importantly, it's cool to get stuff from companies. It's cool to be able to review the products and share them with you guys, but very rarely do I get a product that kind of like alters my spending habits, right? You guys know I love watches and car audio and all that stuff, but I had kind of just committed myself to using in-wall speakers and smart speakers throughout the house. They work great, but this brand has, I never thought in a million years I'd buy a set of tower speakers, right? No way. For my bedroom, no way. And look what this brand did. Made me spend $550 on a new set of floor speakers. So it's a lot of fun when you discover brands like this and products that kind of bring you down another rabbit hole. I don't foresee me getting any more speakers throughout the house, but one never knows. Every room is just decked out, so there's really not. I'm running out of room. But if you are in the market, so who's going to buy this? If you are in the market for, and I think most of us want to have good sounding audio. I'll give you an example. My coworker is using Sonos, and Sonos is a great brand. Don't get me wrong, but Sonos can't compete with this. And there's really no exception if you want good quality audio from 2 speakers, left and right, and a stereo receiver. There is no way around it. You could have the best sounding. There's lots of great sounding standalone speakers out there. Abramtech, another company, makes a fantastic Bluetooth speaker. But you really, for what you're going to pay for like a Sonos or even an Abramtech, you can get into this. And again, I spent $550 for the speakers, but you don't have to. You can get a nice set of Even these speakers in a bookshelf are going to run you like $150, $160. There's lots of different price points, and even if you get the cheapest speaker, I mean, you may have to add a sub to it, right? But if you go with like a Bestison sub, a basic set of Amazon bookshelf speakers, and some Aiyima tube amps, you're going to be in it for maybe $300, again, depending on what you get, and you will be blown away with the quality. Yeah, like I said, I need to have my coworker over and let him hear this, because I think after listening to this, he'll want to spend a little money and get himself a nice set of speakers. You know, I think, and there's a lot of guys that I've talked to who have record players or into vinyl, and you know, are listening to it just through like one speaker, and there's really no sacrifice. Even if you live in an area where you can't like have maximum volume and really crank it up, you can still at lower volume have exceptional sound. And so these really are, it really is exciting for me to get these, and I've been absolutely loving the last 3 days just listening to these suckers. It's great. What else? That's about it. I encourage you, if you are going to get something like this, invest in a Chromecast audio. You'll thank me. It's a Wi-Fi audio streaming device. I did a side-by-side comparison. Some folks will say vinyl sounds better than this and CDs sound better than that. I did a side-by-side comparison, CD versus Google Chromecast audio streaming. They were identical to my ear. So you have the convenience of being able to stream. But, you know, I did buy a record player as well. You want that nostalgic sound. But it's a lot of fun. And I don't know, if I can help you guys in any way, let me know. Definitely check out Aiyima. Awesome company. Stay tuned for more videos by myself featuring Aiyima products. I have their newest, or one of their newer hybrid tube all-in-ones, another great product if you don't want to do the multiple amps and multiple devices. It's one device, does everything for you, fully featured. It's highly recommended, and I'll share that with you guys at a later date. So thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day and take care.